Well, hello there, motherfuckers. And as promised, I am going to be taking a look at all the injuries that have recently infested WWE. So the latest injury is Braun Strowman. Now, this was like going on for a period of time. He's been wrestling with bone spurs in his elbow. So, that's a common wear and tear injury. So I thought maybe somebody might have caused that. It was also weird that when he went off that he was like bleeding from the elbow, and it seemed like that happened even before they, smashed his arm into the steel steps. So that was a bit odd. That's why I thought like it was something that one of the wrestlers did, like it was Corbin or somebody, but apparently not. But let's talk a little bit about the concussions and, wrestlers that are out right now. So, on the injured reserve list, you've got Kevin Owens, you've got Sami Zayn, you've got Alexa Bliss, you've got Becky Lynch, you've got Zelina Vega. Daniel Bryan just came back at the beginning of the year after a 2-year hiatus of being retired. Triple H with a torn pectoral muscle. It's just like it's crazy. Just everyone is injured. But I've already talked about Becky Lynch, but I don't think I made a separate video on it. So and what do we have right here? We have 3 girls unable to wrestle right now. Becky Lynch, concussion. Zelina Vega, concussion. And Alexa Bliss, concussion. Unable to wrestle. And out of all of them, it seems like Becky Lynch is going to make a return. She's trying to get cleared, but that just happened. So I gotta also say one thing before we get into Alexa Bliss and the disconcerting news surrounding her little recent hiatus right now. We got to talk about the whole Becky Lynch situation. I'm seeing a lot of people saying, on YouTube comments, and I think Brian Alvarez led the charge on this most recently. Nia Jax should be sent back down to NXT. This is very interesting, and I even saw a video that I did not watch saying, the 5 times that Nia Jax was reckless. It's just, I'm not really seeing it compare. When you're showing me that a multi-time world champion Seth Rollins, when he injured as many people as he did, when he, you could talk about injuries and all this, but let's also talk about ending careers. Seth Rollins has done that. And I just don't really see how people are overlooking this, but he ended the career of Sting. Does anybody ever put that in perspective? I get it. You like Seth Rollins. You like, the guy is athletically gifted. When you see that guy performing the Phoenix Splash, the fluidity of his moves and everything, that's good. But I have big problems with Seth Rollins as a worker because he ended the career of one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. So if you need to really ask why I have a problem, I have many problems with Seth Rollins. It's the voice. It's the fact that when, he was selling in his match against Triple H at WrestleMania, he quickly forgot about the selling. He thinks that he could be Shawn Michaels. He thinks he is Shawn Michaels. He thinks he's at least the next Shawn Michaels. Getting right back into it and kind of writing it off as adrenaline. I'm sorry, but you haven't gotten that far yet. And Seth Rollins has got a lot. So much to say, and they do that with so many wrestlers nowadays. They catapult them right away. Speaking of Shawn Michaels, it took Shawn Michaels quite a few years. It took him a good 8, 9, 10 years of wrestling in WWE and the tag team and all that, and being on a main roster, being on WWE television before he actually won his first WWE title in 1996. Had a lot of title matches, did not win the big one until they felt he was ready. Now all of a sudden, Seth Rollins winning his first championship, 3 years into his career, not even. Not even, you know, like 2 years in actually when you think about it, because you know he came late 2012 and he was champion by 2015. So, you know, I have so many issues with Rollins, and you know the thing is, no one holds him accountable is the problem. I don't want to make this whole video about Seth Rollins, but I had to get that in there. So when you're saying send Nia Jax back down to NXT, look at one of your premier athletes with Seth Rollins, how overrated the guy is, and the fact that he hasn't even been punished in any way. They haven't knocked him down any pegs due to his negligence in the ring. So, you know, I don't want to hear it, but, you know, it's just shows that they don't really care about these people. It's kind of like Daniel Bryan said in his worked promo on SmackDown. You know, you're going to forget about these guys. You know, a 205, the 205 live match in Survivor Series, Mustafa Ali comes flying off the top rope backwards, mind you, head first into the fucking barricade. You know, backwards, head first into the barricade. The neck, the goddamn neck, got the brunt of that shot, and it's like, wow. You know, when you think about necks, you think about, I didn't even mention Paige. I didn't even mention that in this video. Yeah, Paige retired this year. So, you know, somebody returned and somebody retired, and she was only 24, 25 years old. Due to a concussion, due to Sasha Banks kicking her in the back of the head. No one says anything about Sasha Banks. Never mind that she's an asshole to the fans, and you probably should dislike her for that anyway, but that's all fine and well. Let's just all hate on Nia Jax. So, let's get right into this about Alexa Bliss. The girl is going to retire. I think. I think that's what's going to happen here. She received multiple concussions in a short period of time, like within a month. So I don't know what it was, if she was wrestling with said concussions, they didn't know about it. The details are very sketchy. And that's what worries me. The details are very sketchy on this. It looks like WWE doesn't want a lot of information out. The dirt sheets are having a lot of problems getting information. Maybe the dirt sheets have it wrong. I pray to God that the dirt sheets have it wrong. Because I do not want to see another promising young talent. Alexa Bliss is like 28, 29 years old. Another career ended. Not quite as young as Paige, but we're talking about somebody younger than 30 years of age. It's a young fucking person right there. Already having their livelihood, you know, not taken away just yet, God forbid, but it's hanging in the balance. And the fact that we even need to, you know, be here discussing this is a downright fucking outrage. That they've had all this happen in the past. All the shit I just mentioned. Seth Rollins, Paige, Daniel Bryan, Zelina Vega, Becky Lynch. And I know, okay, Alexa Bliss was before Becky Lynch, but the fact that Becky Lynch happened, it doesn't matter which order it was. They know this shit already happened. They know all of the injuries that happened. I mean, it's like, you think back to like 1997 when injuries were super scarce. Stone Cold getting dropped on his head was enough for them to ban the fucking pile driver. The more they learned about, you know, neck injuries. And then they just go back the other way. And then you have knuckleheads like Meltzer and Alvarez saying that this is the safest style they've ever wrestled, the smartest style. It's not, because every fucking 2 seconds these guys are doing suicide dives, they're flipping over the top rope. That stuff rarely happened. The only time you'd ever see that was at a big pay-per-view once in a while. I mean, like, you know what's funny? I remember even for a period of time, like, for example, John Morrison, like, when he first came into WWE, he barely would do the high-flying moves. He wouldn't even do what made him popular and tough enough, the standing shooting star press. He'd only pull it out of the pay-per-view. So these guys were wrestling really smart. They were, you know, maybe some people might have been getting frustrated because maybe on Raw and SmackDown things, you would notice that on Raw and SmackDown that they weren't doing a lot of moves for a long time. It was because they were trying to keep these guys safe. But the funny thing is they had better storylines. So there was things they were keeping it interesting. But now it's like, instead of having storylines to keep these people safe and having stimulating storylines, it's all about in-ring action now. And so now they're going super hard to try to entertain you in the ring, and it's not working because these matches don't even mean anything, and they're just, you know, one match after another, shooting one out of the cannon like the other. Like I said, like they have this big spot fest at 205, not at 205 Live, but the 205 match on Survivor Series, where these guys are fucking killing each other, doing all these high spots, and you know, it's like no one even is talking about that match. Not a single fucking person is. You know what they're talking about? Enzo getting kicked out of the building and Daniel Bryan getting his ass handed to him. That is the only shit that people are talking about. No, so no one cares about those high spots. So why even do them? It was a good match. What, so Dave Meltzer could give it 4 stars or some shit? No, it's like, there's no point in doing that. So, you know, all that shit happened, and all, you know, in the past, and all these different injuries, neck injuries, you know, it's like, and you have some of those people there. Scotty 2 Hotty is like a trainer at the Performance Center. You know, you have Rhino right there on the main roster still. He was in the Battle Royal like last week. You know, this guy was out for more than a year with a serious neck injury, very similar to Stone Cold's injury. And, you know, this guy should, you know, be allowed to mentor these wrestlers and tell them that, you know, but it's, you know, not to wrestle that stuff because they might end up with neck injuries like him. And, you know, but of course, I guess he's not allowed to talk about that because this is the age of, you know, the high spot. The small, because that's the thing, these smaller wrestlers are not believable by getting away with the kicking and punching and just doing a few suplexes and body slams here and there. So the standout, they think that they have to fly high like Seth Rollins and move 1,000,000 miles an hour and put their bodies on the line. You know, and the thing is, it's not working. You see that the audience is not having any of it. You see that you have the community in the YWC and the IWC that enjoys that style. Those are the ROH fans. Listen, like, people need to understand this. You know, ever since I went to, you know, the ROH events, you know, to get an alternative to WWE, and I enjoyed my time as a ROH fan before that type of style infested the WWE, and then I realized that it wasn't for me. Those people might act like they're anti-WWE, but they're not anti-WWE. They're very much WWE fans. They just hate on the product for whatever reason, but they'll be the first ones to buy a ticket to Raw when it comes to MSG or Nassau Coliseum. You know, you saw it obviously, you know, at numerous events. You know, how did these smart fans, you know, start watching? They always watched WWE. They just, you know, pretended like they were too good for WWE, but they were always up on it. Like, everybody knew, for example, I think I had said it like maybe a year or two ago, when Jimmy Yang wrestled his last match in ROH. People were chanting Velocity at him because before he came to ROH, Jimmy Yang was mostly wrestling as a Keo on Velocity, which was a B show that had replaced, you know, WWF Jacked, you know, in WWF Metal. So people like were making, so, and people knew this already, that they watched WWE, so they're full of shit. So that's why they're appealing to these people. Those are the people that are left. That is why they do that style, because they know their audience right now, and they're trying to retain that audience, even though they're never going to lose it, because that is their audience for life right there. That audience will always be there because they enjoy that style. They don't really care about storylines. They just want to see a good match, and they're curious to see what Dave Meltzer is going to rate in. That's what wrestling has come down to. And that is why Alexa Bliss is in the position that she's in now. Because WWE is trying to cater to a bunch of fucking losers. That's basically all it is. A bunch of no-lifers. And this is really who they want to appeal to. This is real, like, this is the lowest common denominator right here. Yeah, you can't get any lower than appealing to ROH indie smart fans. Because, first of all, there's no pleasing them. Even at ROH, all these people did was heckle the fucking wrestlers. I had said this time and time again. The last ROH match that CM Punk had was in Lake Grove, Long Island. He turned around and he said to a fan, "Is that a goatee or a target for your boyfriend?" That's how pissed off he fucking got at the fan. And he even chewed him out on the mic. I don't know if that actually made it onto the event. I think it happened after the cameras turned off. I would imagine they probably edited it out of the video. Whatever it was, I forgot what the name of the event was. It was like Final Battle or some shit like that in 2005. And, you know, this is how it is. There's people... I think almost anybody would know, so I'll name drop somebody. One dude was called Green Lantern. He'd always wear a Green Lantern shirt to stand out. Kind of like Red Cap guy for WWE. Who's, I think he's still... I haven't really seen him lately. Maybe even got sick of this bullshit. But, you know, that guy, Green Lantern, would be fucking heckling these motherfuckers nonstop. I mean, he would be just heckling each and every wrestler, even if he liked them or he disliked them. It did not matter. He would fucking heckle these motherfuckers till the cows came home. So those are the people that WWE is catering to right now. That's why everyone has concussions, and that's why they don't really give a fuck. They're catering to people of the caliber of ROH's Green Lantern. No, he's not a celebrity. He's a douche. And that's who WWE's catering to. The fucking douches. And the quicker you realize that, the faster you understand what a fucking shitstorm they are in right now. They're losing talent left and right. They're not going to have Braun Strowman for quite a few months now. God knows if he's going to be back by WrestleMania. And that's the thing. It just shows like, oh, what? You're not back to WrestleMania? We're going to just have to fucking find a replacement. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. This shit's a mess. I mean, obviously, Roman Reigns, that was an act of God. You just didn't see that one coming. But I mean, like, they got nobody. And they're still going with this brand extension. And man, oh man, they're stretching people so far and so thin. They're making these people work fucking extra hard. See, that's the thing. They don't have to work 2 shows a week now. But now they're going to, like, you know, make these people work hard to, like, make them stand out more as bigger stars on these shows. So there's just so much working against them right now. And all I could say is I hope Alexa Bliss is okay. I hope that her career is not ended. But, you know, if I don't... you always want to keep the faith. I know that. But I'm just saying, this seems eerily similar to Paige. And I know this is the sick thing. I think that the dirt sheets want it to happen so they could scramble to be the first ones to report it, because that's how wrestling journalism is nowadays. Journalism, wrestling journos out there, you know, wrestling jerk-offs is more like it. That's all they're concerned about. All those motherfuckers at the dirt sheets. That they want to make sure that they're the first ones to break the story, the big headline. Alexa Bliss retires. That's all they want. That's why they keep on, you know, trying to hint at it and everything. And, you know, they want it to be true just so they could talk about it on their fucking show. So, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed what I said, well, not really enjoy. There's nothing to really enjoy here. But if you enjoyed the video, you could hit a thumbs up. If you didn't, and you think I don't know what I'm talking about, you could hit a thumbs down. Please subscribe if you aren't already. Hit the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. Check out some of the content I have posted here. And thank you for watching, guys. Until next time.